Motorcycle gear is a bit of a problem. Most of it makes you look like you're either about to enter the Isle of Man TT or direct traffic on the M4. And sometimes I just want to get off my bike, go for a ride, and actually look like a normal human being when I get off of it. So a while ago I bought this, the Texpeed Armoured Motorcycle Flannel. It costs around the £80 mark and looks like a normal shirt, but underneath you've got armoured lining and actual motorcycle gear protection. I've been wearing this for a while now, so this isn't a first impressions video. The question is it actually any good, or is it just a normal flannel with some foam shoved inside? Let's find out. I'm Sean, this is One More Road, and on this channel I review motorcycle gear and accessories from the perspective of someone who actually uses the stuff. No spec sheet bollocks. I want to know what gear is actually like to own, wear and ride in, and today we're talking about Texpeed. I did email Texpeed to let them know I was reviewing some of their gear, and they have provided a discount code for any orders placed on their website. Use code 1MR15 to get 15% off. I don't get any commission on any sales, and this video isn't sponsored or influenced. It's a genuine recommendation. Now, I should probably mention how I ended up with this jacket. I was looking for something a bit more casual. I've got proper motorcycle jackets, and obviously there is a time and place for them, but if I'm going out for a casual ride, meeting some mates, or just stopping somewhere for food, I don't always want to walk around dressed like I'm about to set a lap time. I also wear a leather waistcoat quite a lot, so I wanted something armoured that would actually work underneath it without it making me look like the Michelin Man. And that's where this came in. First impressions, it genuinely looks like a flannel shirt, and that's probably the biggest compliment I can give it. It doesn't scream motorcycle gear. The branding is pretty subtle, the material feels decent, and the stitching on mine has held up really well. Overall, it just feels like a proper bit of clothing, rather than a cheap costume version of biker gear. Obviously, once you pick it up, you can tell there's more going on. It's a lot heavier than a normal shirt. You've got the aramid lining on the inside, and you've got the armour in the shoulders, elbows and the back. But once you're actually wearing it, I don't really notice the weight. Now let's talk protection, because looking good is completely irrelevant if a thing disintegrates the second you touch tarmac. This shirt is AA rated to EN 1621-1-2012 and EN 1621-2-2014. You've got a 280 GSM aramid fibre lining in the key areas, and it comes with the level 1 armour in the shoulders, elbows and back. And I actually think this is worth pointing out that you get a back protector as standard, because there is motorcycle gear out there considerably more money where the back protector is still an optional extra. All of the armour in the Texpeed is removable, and they do also offer level 2 armour upgrades. I personally put a spare set of level 2 armour in the jacket. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this offers the same protection as a full set of AAA rated racing leathers, and it doesn't. And Texpeed aren't claiming that it does. But this is a AA rated riding shirt designed for normal road riding. For me, that's an important distinction. This isn't fashion clothing pretending to be motorcycle gear, it's actually certified motorcycle PPE. One thing I really like is that the buttons aren't actually main fastening. Underneath the front, you've got a proper YKK zip, so when you zip the jacket up, and the flannel front sits over the top, it's a simple thing, but it means the casual look without relying on a row of buttons to hold the whole thing together. You've also got a press stud on the collar, and again, tiny detail, but at speed, it stops the collar flapping around and repeatedly slapping you in the neck, which is one of those things that you don't think about until you've spent 40 minutes on a dual carriageway, slowly losing your mind. Now the fit. This is actually a slightly weird one for me to review, because since buying the jacket, I've lost a significant amount of weight, so the way it fits me now isn't necessarily the way it fitted when I bought it. When I first got it, it was a much closer fit. Now, it's definitely getting a little bit big on me. But weirdly, I think that says something positive about the cut of the jacket. Even though I've lost weight, I can still wear it and it doesn't look completely ridiculous, and the armour still sits reasonably well. Obviously, with any motorcycle gear, you want the armour sitting in the correct place, so if your jacket is massively oversized, that is a safety issue. But generally, I found the fit on this really comfortable. It's significantly less restrictive than a traditional motorcycle jacket, and that's where this jacket really makes sense. On the bike, I feel much more free than I do in a bulky textile jacket. Moving my arms is easy, shoulder checks feel natural, and particularly on the Vulcan, where I'm sitting in a much more relaxed riding position, it just works. I don't feel like I'm wearing armour, and that is meant as a compliment, because the safest motorcycle jacket in the world isn't much use if it is so uncomfortable that you leave it hanging in the house. This is something I actually want to wear, but there are downsides, and the biggest one is weather protection. This is not the jacket I'd choose for a freezing cold Welsh winter morning, but Texpeed hasn't marketed it as a waterproof winter jacket. And if the heavens open, then it isn't suddenly going to transform into a Gore-Tex touring jacket. It is a riding shirt, that's the compromise. You get something lighter, more casual, and more comfortable, but you lose some of the weather protection you get from a proper all-season textile jacket. Personally, I think that's completely fair. I wouldn't buy a pair of summer gloves and complain that my hands are cold in January. You need to buy gear for the riding you'll actually be doing. Storage is decent. You've got 2 outer chest pockets, a large internal pocket, and a dedicated phone holder on the right side. Personally, I don't tend to carry my entire life in my jacket anyway. You've got phone, wallet, keys, maybe a pack of chewing gum and a 10mm socket that's been in there for about 6 months. And that's it. And for that, it's absolutely fine. One of the biggest reasons I personally like the jacket is this: my cut fits over it. I know that's not going to matter to everyone watching, but for my style of riding and the way I dress, it's brilliant. I can wear an actual armoured, AA rated motorcycle shirt underneath, throw the waistcoat over the top, and still it looks like me. I'm not changing my entire style just because I got on a motorcycle, and I think there's actually something to be said for motorcycle gear that people genuinely enjoy wearing. So let's talk about the big thing: price. Because Texpeed gear is cheap, and I don't mean slightly cheaper than Alpine Stars cheap, I mean cheap enough that when you first see the price, you start wondering what the catch is. And I think that's why some riders are skeptical of the brand, and I get it. Motorcycle gear is safety equipment. Cheap safety equipment naturally makes people nervous. But this is where I think you have to separate brand reputation from actual certification. This jacket is AA rated, the armour is there, the armoured lining is there, and after actually owning, wearing, and crashing in it, I can't find some massive hidden catch. Does it feel as premium as a £300 motorcycle jacket? No. But it also doesn't cost £300. That's the point. So, would I recommend the Texpeed Armoured Flannel? Yeah, I would. But to the right rider, if you're commuting through winter, touring across Europe, or regularly riding for hours in an absolutely horrific weather, buy a proper all-season textile jacket. This isn't designed to replace that, but if you want something for casual rides, summer riding, meeting up with mates, or you just hate the look and bulk of traditional motorcycle gear, I think this is genuinely brilliant value for money. It's comfortable, it looks good, it's AA rated, you get the armour in the shoulders, elbows and the back as standard, and most importantly, I actually want to wear it. If you've used Texpeed gear before, let me know what you think down in the comments, because they're one of those brands where the prices almost seem too good to be true, and I'm genuinely interested to hear how their other gear holds up. Let's hope that there's more of that to see in the future. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe if you want more honest motorcycle gear review, rides and general bike related nonsense. I'll see you on the next one.